Broadcasting from the heart of downtown Hollywood. This is SoFloRadio.com. Z Nation. Z Nation. Where consciousness is queen, love really is the answer. And making a difference is on the menu. Z Nation. Organic beats and inspiring treats. Get your weekly dose of vitamin Z now. This is Z Nation on SoFloRadio.com.
Mics are hot. We are on. That's life, people. Mics are hot. We are on. Every day, all day. Welcome. This is Z Nation. We are recording live from Hollywood, Florida. My name is Zayna De Gaia. I'm welcoming today special guest and friend, Kelsy Consciousness Reki Master, student of life with concentrations in herbalism, shamanism, yoga, meditation, permaculture, amongst many things. Welcome, Kelsey girl.
Thank you, Z-Love. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Kelsey's my really good friend. She's here. She's here.
What a blessing to have you as one of my best friends.
Thank you. Thank you.
My teacher.
Well, we have a lot to talk about. We went for breakfast before, and I said, Kelsey, don't tell me too much because she's got a lot to share. So I just want to introduce, we have some other people in the studio if y'all are watching. So we've got Gaia. This is her real name, Gaia, next to me here. You could say hi, Gaia. There's Gaia's giggle. So Gaia is apprenticing with Sunset to co-produce the show. So welcome. And then we also have my friend Jose, who's here to hold space. And thank you for being here.
Pleasure being here.
What a surprise. Awesome. And our producer, George, too. You're in the background. So, wow. So much to share. Well, I know, Kelsey, we're going to get into you in a moment, okay? And jump in anytime. And I want to hear all about your latest adventures, all right? I do want to share a little bit about this past weekend. We had the Follow Your Bliss Festival at I Love Yoga Florida. I Love Yoga Florida. I Love Yoga Studio in Florida, yeah. And wow. So this was a festival, a consciousness, alternative lifestyle, yoga, meditation, music, art, permaculture, everything that is conscious. This is what was brought to the community. And it was a project that was created by the teacher training students at I Love Yoga Studio. And it was like their graduation project for the community. And man, it started at 9. There was classes every hour and a half. 2 classes at the same time. Amazing classes. You guys, all the classes were packed. People really had a good time. There was food, and the food was awesome. Gaia here was volunteering. We had a lot of volunteers that were assisting around the space. And then in the evening, it was like we were building up to this beautiful energy. And at night we had a concert. It started with an open mic. We had somebody come up. It was kind of interesting. He did stand-up comedy, and he started doing jokes, and his jokes started getting a little inappropriate. Like they just weren't honoring the sacred space that we were holding. So Moses Love, the founder of I Love Yoga, he went up, and it was so beautiful because he shared from a space of love, and he also held the space and asked him to please, don't make those jokes, and to honor women and to honor the space that we created. And it was so beautiful because, it takes something to stand for that, to be like the sacred guardian of a space. Like we get to be that anywhere. Like if you're sitting somewhere and someone starts doing racist jokes, you don't have to sit there and listen to it. You can say something, you can walk away, but you can just stand for what it is that you believe in. So there was a lot of memorable moments. There was one in particular, I have to find out more about this, but a woman went up and she spoke the language of light. Have you ever heard of this? It was phenomenal. She went up and she was this really sweet girl and she was like, oh, hello, light beings, I'm going to bless you. And then she turned into some kind of other being and started channeling this language. And it was so obvious that it was intelligent.
Yeah.
And you felt it through your body, and though we didn't understand logically what she was saying, it was beautiful. And she called it the language of light. So it was interesting. And then we had a few like professional artists like Mandy Moon, who's been on the show, perform. Ricky Tree also performed. He was there. And if you guys tune into Z Nation Radio on Instagram, you can check out, we posted videos all day long, interviews and little snippets of Follow Your Bliss. And really Follow Your Bliss represents something for all of us all around the world. You know, it's like a space that we can create anywhere we go. You know, that we get to be the mirror for other people, that I'm following my bliss, whatever that looks like. And like, you know, Kelsey, we were talking about this morning, like how the ego can get in the way and trick you into thinking like, well, what if this isn't right? Or what are people going to think? Or whatever mumbo jumbo the mind throws your way. And then the more people around us who are following their bliss, then the more that we can be confident in our path, in the road that we take. So, let's take a breath together. Calibrate the energy. When all else fails, take a deep breath and dance. Take a deep breath and dance with life. Yeah? It's like we plan so much. We plan so much, and it's great. I'm a big planner and I'm a big dancer. So I love to dance with life, and sometimes dancing with life feels like we're dancing with an elephant. And if you try to like be the lead, you know, it's like it's a mess. So sometimes you just have to like surrender to life and allow it to dance you, and you know, be the surrendered one rather than trying to force it and control it. And this big elephant is big and it's stepping on your feet and you're feeling like when you can just surrender to the elephant and dance with it. Such is life. And I wrote a song, and I write songs every show, and I've been doing like little rap songs for my guests, but I wanted to share with you guys a song that I wrote. And I wrote this song a while back, and I want to sing it to you guys. It's called Underneath the Ocean Floor. And I'll talk to you about what it means in a second. I'm going to sing it first, okay? So we're going to play the background, yeah. So here we go. Yeah, so listen real carefully, because it's about to get real right here. Oh, if our cell phones die, baby, if the internet evaporates. Yes. Listen. I've got a little plan for us, and it goes a little something like this. Run to the ocean and swim to the ocean floor. And when you get to the ocean floor, honey, won't you dig a hole with your bare hands? Oh, meet me at the ocean floor. Oh, meet me at the ocean floor. That's a little sample. So I was having this thought one day, and I was thinking, well, what if everything just went off? Our phones, our cell phones, right? And Kelsey, at that time, I would just want to be with my friends, with my community, with my tribe. And let's say you happen on that day to go to Key West, which is 4 hours away. How would we know where to meet?
Well, there's many ways we could communicate.
Yes.
I think if we're tapped in to this collective consciousness, we could communicate over thought waves, heartfelt vibrations, send those out. Or we could get old school. We could make a fire. I could send you some smoke signals.
Yes.
I could send a bird. I'll send a falcon with a letter.
So that's so beautiful. So the ocean floor is like, you know, we are all so tapped in, if we choose to be, into that psychic that psychic center that is around all of us. And what you said, even like this, the language of our hearts, you know, and tapping into that intelligence. And what it would really take for us to be tapped in like that, you know, like, let's meet on 34th and Biscayne, and it's like so clear and we're all there, would be to practice. It would be to really like take on, like, practice reading each other's minds, practice tapping in and being one with source, and like actually tuning into ourselves. So really like discovering and sharpening our own psychic abilities and not relying so much on the technology, like using it because it's a tool that can get the information we need out. And it's important right now to move that information so people can wake up, people can be educated around what's happening, and at the same time limit our dependence to the technology so that we can nurture, develop, and really like build our psychic powers with each other. And then maybe also like have a meeting place. You know, where would we all meet? Whether it's like, you know, in, you know, Mexico City, like between this street or this street, you know, and we give each other 5 years to get there.
Yeah, I love, you know, technology and the internet is a beautiful mirror. It's an example of what's possible. That's how I look at it. To think that we can transmit these codes and these waves through the ethers, through the ethereal realm, through the air, you know, something that we don't quite resonate with all the time. A lot of people are very rooted into the physical. And when you start to think about how the internet works, how does that make sense? That's a mirror for what's possible for us, for our minds,
so beautiful.
For our thoughts, for our emotions to communicate through, you know, the quickest way possible, like sound vibrations, thought vibrations, light, this quick, rapid, you know, transfer of information.
Oh my God. Like if someone from the past looked at us right now, they'd think we'd be doing magic with the internet.
And someone from the future looks at us like, what? Why haven't you figured this out yet? We've been giving you this information.
Well, we're able to communicate with our third eye.
Oh, yeah.
And our third eye has been totally calcified and it's unusable for most people. And a lot of us are awakening that we have the power to communicate, you know, breathe through our third eye even. And we're discovering that ability. We're all learning.
And there's many tools. Like what I've learned so far in my journey, you know, in this life is all of the tools that are available to connect us to this awareness, to connect us to these skills, these powers, these, you know, abilities.
Our truth.
And there's many, they say there's many paths to the top of the mountain, but as long as we're all coming to the top of the mountain, how we get there, you know, that's a personal journey. And, today I want to share with you several different ways, you know, of the things that I do, to access, to show people how to access.
Well, you know, clearly like human potential is unlimited. And, you know, if you never were told that you cannot walk on water, you will walk on water. I know this guy that bends spoons. He bends spoons because he's never been told he couldn't bend a spoon. It's like in the Matrix, right? There is no spoon. You know, I work with teenagers and preteens, and you know, one of the things I'll tell them is, listen, I know who you are, and I know that you're psychic, and I know that you're psychic, and you think that people think that you're crazy because you have these thoughts and you can see things and you can hear things, and I want you to know that that's real, you know, and like really acknowledging their psychic powers. And when people hear psychic, they think some kind of paranormal thing. No, it's like it's our true nature to have that capacity. We don't need the World Wide Web to connect to the real World Wide Web.
Right, but what is even paranormal or mystical or occult or, you know, whatever this may be, it's all, I believe those terms all come out of, you know, ignorance and fear of not truly understanding, trying to label and judge the way that other people connect and relate, because, you know, we can live in this world of possibility. Everything is possible, and we can walk on water, we can bend spoons, we can read minds, you know, we can heal ourselves, we can heal each other and the planet.
We can heal Gaia.
Yeah.
I asked Kelsey what the theme would be for today, and she immediately said Gaia. I thought that was great, you know, because you love the earth, and that's been your transformation. I mean, and then I have Gaia here on the show, and I'm Zayna De Gaia, and we all love Gaia. So So we have some more surprises around Gaia on the show today. So one thing, that can help with this is to start to like tune out, in a daily basis, tune out the waves, the internet waves, the telephone waves. If that means turning your phone off for a little bit of time, actually shutting your Wi-Fi off in the house, actually having sacred moments where, like when I eat, the phone is flipped down and I can just be with the food and the sacredness of that ceremony.
I think it was you, Zayna, who told me to change. Like, it's interesting when you get your phone and there's all these automatic presets, it preset to notify us every time someone likes an Instagram photo, every time someone comments on Facebook. So I remember a pivotal shift when you told me one day we're at the beach and you were like, just go and change your settings so that the only notifications you get are calls or texts. If people are like trying to reach you, but all of the social media, the emails, like we become a slave to technology when all of our thoughts are constantly being diverted towards what other people are thinking of what we do. And we're caught in this cycle of, what do people think of me? How many likes do I have? Like,
yes,
the judgment. And, we're not connecting to our truth. We're scattered. We're scattering our energy all over the place.
It's very distracting. I had this moment the other day. I watched somebody cross the street, and this, you'll see this a lot, right? With their phone, and the phone was like, they were mesmerized by it. They're crossing the street, right? All they're looking at is their phone. This happens a lot. Now I'm just thinking, wow, like so many things could be happening in that moment. For example, like all the animals could be like running away from the water, and there could be like something like a tsunami coming. Like if you're present in the world like animals are, like people who are connected to the earth, you can sense when there's like the cold breeze comes and there's rain coming. The subtle things that tell us what's coming. And that's like, when we're connected. And then when we're I'm going to say slaves to these electronics, we get absorbed into them and we completely disconnect to what is showing us the signs, the odoms, being able to see animals and like, discover what nature has to tell us. It's very challenging to be in that perspective when you're in your phone all the time, obsessed and addicted to it. And
we're pulled right now between two realms of existence. We're part of nature. We're from the earth. We are meant to be in harmony, and all of nature is always seeking balance. And here we are, part of this evolution of technology, and we're being taken out of harmony and out of balance. Most people don't have that instinctual connection to observe the patterns of nature, to observe the seasons, to observe, how our food is growing, how the plants are responding. If we were more tapped into this, we would find balance within nature. But I feel like that's kind of my purpose here in this journey, is to bring people back into harmony with the planet, to bring people back into harmony with their own true nature. And I believe it can be a cohesive evolutionary process where technology becomes our tool, but we don't become slaves to technology.
Yes. It's like the mind, instead of having the mind use us, we use the mind effectively. And, the insanity of social media and being on it all the time is like, we already have our own minds to deal with, all the thoughts that go through your mind, and you're like, doing your best to stay present, right? And then you go onto social media and you have the mastermind of 3,000 friends. All of their thoughts are going through your screen. And it's like all these thoughts get implanted in your mind, and then you're like having sex or doing something and someone's Instagram picture comes to your mind. It makes it even harder to be present. So limiting what we allow to enter our consciousness, because it's what's going to reflect back on the inner screen.
Absolutely. We're creating our reality at every moment, every breath, every thought, every word. And as long as you're taking things into your space, that is part of your reality. So I think a big thing, no matter what it is that our practices are, is finding a discipline, creating a disciplined structure for how we choose to live our lives, and taking responsibility, for what's in our space always. And also being intentional about our contribution. to social media, our contribution to conversations with others. So if we're like my personal practice, it fluctuates. It fluctuates with what I'm up to. Sometimes I need to spend more time on social media, but I love how Facebook, it will prioritize the pages you frequent, and I frequent some really inspirational people. So when I go on, the first couple posts in my newsfeed are all the ones I want to see,
Yes.
and the rest kind of slip through the cracks, and that's okay, because I'm there to share my message. I'm there to connect with the events and, just bring people together, use it as a tool.
You do great. Like, your social media posts are awesome. You educate people. You inspire them, and you also let us into your personal life. And that's special because you're a very inspiring, big human being. And to be able to feel like we know you and we have access to your lifestyle, how you eat, how you dress, how you think, it's cool. Yeah.
Thank you, Z. I absolutely love using social media as a tool, and it's brought many beautiful people and experiences into my life. This whole retreat that I just came back from in Asheville, the Ecoist, it was completely marketed over social media, and we had a woman from Alabama come, we had people from South Florida come, and we all connected over social media. And that happens a lot in my life. I'll go somewhere and they'll be like, "Oh, Kelsy Consciousness, I know you from Facebook." And I'm like, "Oh, pleasure to meet you. I'm so happy." Like, all these beautiful souls that cross my path. Thank you.
You're real. You're in life.
Yeah,
real life.
Yeah. And I try to be just as real on social media as I am in person.
You are. I love it. I love all your videos, all your posts. So we want to hear more about your adventures. I know you just came back from an amazing adventure. Like, Kelsey, I feel like there's been just a huge transformation for you. I could feel it. So we're gonna come back after this short break. We're gonna do some more music, and we're gonna talk more about plant medicine and really honoring Gaia. Our mother, our planet. So we'll be back right here on SoFlowRadio.com.
Tune in to get tuned in. This is Z Nation on SoFlowRadio.com.
Add a twist of yoga.
Yoga Twist with Julie.
A great way to integrate yoga, meditation, and lots of fun.
Promote family bonding. Help with flexibility and exercise. I teach grown-ups too.
Join Julie for beginner and gentle adult classes.
Book a group, family, or one-on-one session now. Email me, yogatwistjulie@gmail.com.
Follow Yoga Twist Julie on Instagram and like Yoga Twist on Facebook for great family lifestyle tips and Yoga Twist events.
Hi, this is Zayna De Gaia, and I'd love to share with you about my good friend Nicole of Legit Fitness in-home training and yoga. She's a certified yoga teacher, and she's an amazing and experienced trainer that can design a program to fit your specific needs and goals. She's so cool. She's super committed to making fitness and health fun and accessible for everyone. Plus, your first week is free as a new client. Here's how you set up your first session. Either call 305-335-5590 or visit www.getlegitfit.com. GETLEGITFIT. Getlegitfit.com. 305-335-5590. Do it now!
SoFlowRadio.com remains on the air with free archives thanks to the support of our listeners. Help keep us on the air by clicking the donate button on SoFlowRadio.com. And thank you for your generous support.
Now back to Z Nation, your weekly dose of inspiration on SoFlowRadio.com.
Rushing is violence, and so is your silence when it's rooted in compliance. To stand firm in loving defiance, make Archer alliance, give voice to the fire. Move people to the beat of the wind, gather yourself and begin to dance the song until it ends. We are winners, champions of the light, forming in numbers and might. Keep the truth close in sight. Medicine woman, medicine man. Walking with grace, I know your face and I trust your hand. Medicine woman, medicine man. Walking with grace. I know your face and I trust your hands. Find your teachers in the voice of the forest. Unplug, you can't ignore this wisdom of the voiceless. Remedies are bountiful and surround us from the garden to the farthest. Prayer made of stardust. Find your healing in the music that calls you, the voice that enthralls you. What do you belong to?
Beautiful. So, Kelsey, who is this?
This is Rising Appalachia. I had the honor of seeing them perform live. The first day I was welcomed into Asheville for the Ecoist Retreat. We went a day early, myself, Rebecca from Shavaya Healing, and our friend Hanak, and we all went and saw Rising Appalachia, and it was kind of my first introduction to their music. I got their albums, and you know, I have a lot of respect for the musicians out there who really spread a message of truth. I've been really inspired by Nako and Medicine for the People, by Trevor Hall. I've had the pleasure of being on the Zen Cruise with Nako, and next year the Zen Cruise with Trevor Hall. Yeah. And then Rising Appalachia. You know, there's many people out there who are taking their message and bringing medicine in many forms, you know. So music is definitely a form of medicine. Being able to incorporate that into your life and listening to conscious music, letting that be part of your reality.
I just thought maybe you could sing a song.
I could sing a song?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. I don't know. You sing so many songs. You could think about it. You could think about it.
I mean, I don't even have a rattle here or anything.
I know. I just love your voice.
There's a medicine song. You have a rattle?
We have a rattle.
You guys can join in, because this is a song that's sang in a lot of like community gatherings, a lot of ceremonies, Rainbow Tribe, a lot of different things. So. Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath, and fire my spirit. Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath, and fire my spirit. Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath, and fire my spirit. Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath, and fire my spirit.
Kelsy Consciousness, everyone. Let's give it up. I love it. I love you singing, Kelsey. Thank you for sharing your medicine. So you just came back from the Ecoist Retreat. I want to hear about this. I'm so inspired by what you all created. It's so magical. It's so sacred. So tell us, Ecoist, came back from it.
The idea of the Ecoist is just to bring people back to their connection with the earth. So, you know, I'm a permaculture student, teacher, studying herbalism, really working with the plants and working with the land and food and, you know, all of these healing tools and things that are really necessary in our lives. So I've had the privilege, I know Rebecca's had the privilege, and our other, the part of our trinity, our triangle, Juliana, has had the privilege of working in close relation with a lot of really incredible, wise teachers. And we want to share that with the community. We want to open up what we've had the privilege and honor of experiencing to others. So Rebecca actually went to herb school in Asheville. So she had the idea of bringing her South Florida family to Asheville. So we went, and it was a 7-day retreat. We stayed at the Permaculture Institute called Ash Village in downtown Asheville. And then every single day we had a different teacher, a different class, a different adventure. Wow. And we also were able to, you know, build relationships with different plants that taught us different lessons, like mugwort. You know, mugwort's it's a wild herb. It's considered a weed, but it has really healing properties that helps us in like the astral realm, in the dream realm. So using mugwort in your life can help you find clarity in your dreams. And
how do you take mugwort?
Many forms. You can make a tincture. We made a salve to put on the body, so it's healing to the skin with the coconut oil and the beeswax.
Did you make that during the retreat?
We did. That was one of our classes. We had a woman come in who's an herbalist, and she's also studied in Chinese medicine, and she was telling us, she did a whole class on mugwort and moxa. Moxa is a Chinese modality. It's like a technique used where you take the mugwort plant and you filter it until all of the material goes away except for this fiber, and it turns white. So it's like a green plant, and you filter it, process it through like handwork until you get this white, like fuzzy fiber, and then you coat it's moldable, and you put it on a stick, and then you're using the acupressure points. This is like predating acupuncture. Like before needles were used, they were using heat from moxa. And so she did a whole class on mugwort, moxa, and motherhood, talking about how to turn a breached baby with like acupuncture points. So, you know, we just had many classes. We studied with Corey Pine Shane, who he has the Blue Ridge Mountain, I believe it's Blue Ridge Mountain School of Herbalism, and he took us for a hike in the Pisgah National Forest up to a waterfall. We sang medicine songs together. We went on a plant walk, like many, many adventures, beautiful experience, and coming together in community, eating all like really clean, local. We went shopping before we prepared all the meals together.
Did you all prepare all the meals with everybody?
Yeah, we did.
That's amazing.
I mean, Rebecca, Juliana, and I were in charge, and we had one work trader. So we worked together, but everyone pitched in. You know, we became a big family, and that's what it's all about, like connecting to the land, connecting to our own hearts, to our connection with nature. And like in that space, you want to be a contribution to community. You know, no one sits back and is selfish. Everyone's like heart open, doing their part. So it was really amazing.
Wow. And do you all have another one scheduled now?
We do. The dates have not been released, but we're planning to have one here in the Everglades at the Everglades Hostel in February. And then we're going to plan about the same time next year in June back in Asheville. And there's also talks about other future locations being my home state of Maine and also Hawaii. So we're trying to just, you know, bridge different communities, different sacred spaces in the world, and communities that are really powerful in the message that they hold, and bringing people there, you know.
Yeah, like really educating people on truth, really bringing us back to source, Kelsey. That's so cool. Well, you mentioned Maine. That's where you're from. So would you share with us, you know, how you got to where you got? I know you've been on a journey.
Wow.
And it's brought you to here, and you're like this amazingly powerful, inspiring woman that really, really, like, you're really moving a lot of people. Not only inspiring people, but you're moving people into action. And that's a whole other level of leadership.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, I came from Maine. I was born and raised there 23 years. And, you know, I felt like it was my journey to get back in touch with my connection with nature, because being in a beautiful land, you know, being in Maine with the mountains and the ocean, like everything was there in abundance. But I just had to go through this process of reconnecting, as something disconnected me. And I had a lot of years spent caught up in suffering, and I went through a lot of health issues. Looking back now, you know, I just didn't know how to find balance. And I feel like I wasn't open. You have to be seeking balance to receive it, because throughout that path there was a lot of people who crossed my path, including my own family. My mother, you know, my mother is a beautiful woman and very wise, and she would offer me all sorts of things to create balance in my life, and I just wasn't open. I needed to go through the suffering. So, you know, a diagnosis of a disease, 14 surgeries, and a dependence on prescription medication brought me to Florida. I needed to get out of that. You know, that was a lot of suffering, a lot of heavy energy. And so I decided to move and came to Florida to start a new life. And I came into yoga and meditation and this beautiful community. And yoga and meditation opened me up to seek deeper connection, brought me into permaculture, studied permaculture with Angie Gonzalez, permaculture yogi, beautiful program that started me to be introduced to all of these great teachers who know a lot about the land and hold sacred wisdom. And it also got me to have a new relationship with plant medicine, and plant medicine in the form of herbs, tinctures. There's many ways, you know, there's many ways to work with plant medicine. And I feel that each person is walking an individual journey. And if you're open and you see the omens and you feel truth along your path, everything comes to you at the perfect time. and you receive it, and it integrates. So you may have your own toolkit of plants and oils and, you know, meditations, mantras, prayers, your whole like toolkit of what works to connect you. And that's really individual, but I'm here to share my journey and share what I work with. And if it resonates with people, then they can integrate that for themselves.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. I'm just present to all that you do. You know, I know you got a lot going on. You do, like, you know, you work with the permaculture and all the stuff that is like I would say the foundation of us being alive, you know, our mother. And you also work in rehab centers, and you work with teenage girls, and you work with adults. You also are a healer, and you know, you've been exploring a lot of different modalities. So share with us what you're up to now. Like, what is your message that you want to share, and what is next for Kelsy Consciousness?
Wow. Yeah. Thank you so much. The message that I'm sharing right now is connection, you know, connection, compassion for others on their journey, and transformation, just allowing transformation to occur in all aspects, never becoming stagnant or stuck, letting go of resistance, you know, fine-tuning your awareness through whatever works, and staying present, staying aware, and allowing life to flow. So I share that message everywhere I go, you know, 5 days a week, teaching yoga and meditation to people going through drug and alcohol rehabilitation, whether I'm teaching a public class or I'm with a private client doing some energy work, doing, you know, I like to combine different things I've experienced, my Reiki background, my current dabblings in the world of shamanism and herbalism, and bringing that all together. You know, I have a lot of respect and resonance for this prophecy of, you know, the eagle condor.
Can you share more about that?
Yeah. So it's like correlating with this idea that from the Hopi Indians, that a rainbow tribe will come together. So people from all different cultures, races, creeds are going to join together in unity to spread a message of truth. And the eagle and the condor, the eagle is North America and the condor is South America. So especially here in Miami and South Florida, we see the melting pot of people from the North and the South coming together and sharing in sacred traditions. So I think just spreading that message of, you know, no separation, unifying for a grand vision of harmony within and without, inner ecology and outer ecology. So we take responsibility for ourselves, we clean up, you know, any inauthenticity in our life, and then we're able to walk strong, and we're able to share truth and inspire that in others.
Yeah. And it's like being in alignment with your truth, like speaking your truth and also being your truth. So who you show up is like, you don't even have to say your truth. You just are that, and people get it.
And that's a huge lesson. That's kind of where I'm at right now. What's next for me? I'm about to embark on 2 months of travel, like soul searching travel of this country, you know, getting in touch more with my roots. I've been learning a lot more about my ancestry, my grandmother on my father's side being of Cherokee Indian descent, her ancestors, you know, being part of the Trail of Tears, and connecting to that land in North Carolina really felt like home. I was really present with a lot of different spirits. And for me on this journey, each time I connect with an aspect of something that may not be visible in the physical realm, like this is a spirit that's becoming part of me, and I can call upon that in all the work I do, whether it's mugwort, whether it's sage, you know, whether it's my grandmother, whether, you know, all of these different intelligences, you say different intelligences, we have access to it all.
And where are you traveling to?
I'm driving all over the country. I'm kind of heading northwest. I'm going to spend some time on the West Coast. I have different stops I'm making along the way. And
wow.
It was originally a vision with Ricky and I called the Activate Tour, and it still is an activation. It really is going to activate many layers within myself, and wow. I just want to share that with people. But at the same time, my journey at this point is to really be a silent observer. You know, there's a lot of wisdom in silence. And when I first started on this path, I was like, I am still so excited and passionate, but so excited. I just wanted to share with everyone everything I was learning, teach. And now I'm like, there's so much to learn, and there's so much to teach in silence, like that silent knowing, that strong presence, that it almost commands, people's attention, and they get captivated, and then they ask, because it's when people are seeking themselves that they truly are ready for information. So rather than pushing things on people, you just allow them to come.
Yeah. And right now, a lot of people are searching, and if you're an open vessel, they will find you. Mm-hmm. They will definitely find you. So you also mentioned that you're writing a book. Yes. Can we talk about your book?
Yeah, sure.
Bring it to life.
All right.
What is it called?
Well, I've had a book in the process, and it's changed many times. So, when it's published,
it may keep changing.
Yeah, it may keep changing. But right now, I've always wanted to capture my journey so far, because it's been quite a colorful tapestry of experience, in my 25 years, quarter century on this earth. So my book is The Road Back Home. So it's just the story of, my life and coming into practices of shamanism and
really coming into your purpose.
Yeah, coming into my purpose for sure, because I'm here working with a lot of the spiritual realm. There's a lot of spiritual starvation here, which creates this disconnect, why people don't relate with the earth like they used to, or why they don't have respect, and they don't even see the impact of their actions, the consumerist way of being, and all of the waste that produce, and all of the taxing practices of like drilling and mining and
taxing to the earth.
Yeah, taxing to the earth. Yeah. So I feel like the spiritual connection is what brings us back to awareness of like taking responsibility for ourselves and the physical. And this book is just, a collection of experiences that takes you through someone such as myself who can get completely lost in materialism, consumerism, addiction, and like self-destruction and misery and suffering, and then come out on the other side and restore a connection to the spiritual realm and be an open vessel, like you said. So to step into healing for myself and others.
Can we take a breath? So much beauty in your words. So Kelsey, there are a lot of people, and one of the intentions of Z Nation is to be mainstream, is to bring this conversation, this level of consciousness, no holding back, no holds bars, to everybody who's ready to hear it, like you said. So there are a lot of people who are spiritual starving right now, and that just don't know better, and don't know where to go, don't know what to do. What advice would you give people who are, looking for something different? Where to start? Start with your word, because the second that you speak something into existence, you are creating that as your reality. So if you're sitting there listening right now and you feel like something's not working in your life, you don't have harmony or alignment, be authentic and be vulnerable, because every time you tell someone what you're seeking, they could be the missing link to be the catalyst to you walking down a path of transformation. So, I mean, like I said, there's a reason why I have such a diverse, resume, because there's many ways that you can resonate with people. And I'm the type of person, I want to connect with as many people as possible. So having my toolkit nice and full of different, philosophies, modalities, it helps me connect to a wider array of people. But as far as like an individual seeker, just talk about it. Just say, this is where I'm at. Word. This is what I'm looking for. Word. And before you know it, you're going to be given all the answers. Wow. I just thought of somebody who's like working at a job they don't like, is completely unconscious, and they're on the conscious track and they just can't stand their job anymore. There's a lot of people like that who are right now in that, and it's like what you just said. Your conversation could be like, oh my God, I hate my job. I need to get out of here. And that's what the universe is hearing. I hate my job. I need to get out of here. And it's just going to create more of that suffering versus everything that comes out of your mouth is creating your future. So how are you doing? I'm awesome. I'm opening up a wellness center. And it's going to have all kinds of modalities or whatever it is that you're up to, right? And you speak it into existence. And then, like you said, things just start to open up.
Absolutely. So even if you're stuck in a job, you feel stuck, it's okay to say, you know, I feel stuck right now, but it's a beautiful place to start because I'm seeking transformation. I'm seeking a shift. And just by saying, I am seeking, you know, then the universe responds.
Yeah. That which you are seeking is seeking you.
Right.
It really is. We are attracting what we are.
And on that, one more thing I want to add. If you're seeking and you speak that, be open to receive. Because when you start to ask and things start to come your way, notice if you have resistance. Notice if you have programming that exists from your past or your upbringing that makes you skeptical. And like, be in your skepticism, but also be willing to like put that to the side and allow yourself to truly experience what crosses your path, because that may be exactly what you're seeking.
Oh my God. It's like, you know, what's her name? Abraham Hicks. You know, they have that book, Ask and It Is Given. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is given and you'll get it if you're willing to receive it.
Right. What are you going to do with it when it's given?
And sometimes it doesn't show up like you want it. I want peace of mind. Boom. Something happens. Now you have peace of mind, but you didn't want that.
Right.
And, you know, it's exactly what you needed. Exactly. And it's like we were saying at the beginning, dance with life.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now is the most beautiful place I've ever been in my life, because I feel like I'm embodying non-attachment, complete present awareness, and an openness.
I feel that. No, there is definitely a presence here, and it's so clear. Mm-hmm. And it's not what we do. It's a being. It's a space, you know, and watching you, Kelsey, like your enthusiasm for your devotion, you know. I know, like, you know, you brought your devotion to the land, and that's really what's awakened a lot in you. You
yeah,
know?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's something else I think that, you know, if I were you, I would tell people, is put your hands in the dirt.
Oh, yeah.
Put your feet in the dirt.
Yeah, you know, you learn a lot when you work with the land, when you work with the earth. She teaches you. She's very wise. She's our mother. And with that nurturing, heart-centered energy, she will guide us, you know.
Can you talk a little bit about the plant medicine, the different kinds, how people can, you know, start to learn more from the medicine?
Absolutely. There's many plant medicines across the world, across different cultures. And the world that I'm in is the world of like spirituality, plant teachers. So you can think of all the different types of plants and their uses. One study that I'm very intrigued in, if I were to get a degree at this point, it would be in ethnobotany, which is the relation of humans and plants. And it can be for many reasons, for resources, for food, you know, for whatever. But my focus is in plant medicine, plant teachers. So there are plants that are here on this planet that holds great wisdom. When just by integrating them into our being, we're able to connect to high forms of intelligence, high realms, open ourselves up and to receive information. And, you know, these plants are bioregional, but with modern technology and transportation, they're readily available anywhere in the world. And there's many different plants. A book that recently came across my path is written by Richard Evans Schultz and Albert Hoffman, and it's called Plants of the Gods. And it's a whole book with all of the plant teachers around the world, their history in human evolution, and the ways that they're incorporated in ceremonies.
What are some plant teachers?
Some plant teachers, well, from South America, from the Amazon, there's ayahuasca, and you sit in ceremony and you're guided by a shaman, and you go through this personal journey with the plant guiding your energy, showing you things, allowing you to open and release. There's peyote, there's Santa Maria, there's ganja, you know, there's mushrooms. In Plants of the Gods, they call them flowers of the gods.
So those are all plant teachers, they teach you?
Yes.
And then there's plants that are medicine?
Yeah, well, the plant teachers are for sure medicine.
They're both. They're like
both.
multi.
Yeah, they overlap. And I also think that some of plant teachers, it's an interesting term because it doesn't really matter what it's teaching you. Food can teach you things, with the study of herbalism, Chinese medicine, all of these more common herbs which are used to treat things in the physical, those also teach you a lot about yourself. But I think it's the plants of the gods, as reference to that book, the plants that work with the spiritual realms directly, which are what I consider plant teachers. And the other plants that are here, what you might find in an herb garden, what you may order, if you're working with an Ayurvedic doctor, teas, things like that. These plants hold healing properties as well. And it's all about creating balance. You might hear that term that everyone says, your mom probably told you, everything in moderation, because we're seeking balance. Nature seeks balance. So these are all tools that are available for whatever you are seeking to create balance in your life. So whether it's in the physical body, the emotional body, the mind, or the spiritual realm, just seeking.
Seek it out. So I know you've got some stuff going on soon. You've got a movie you're producing, creating. Want to share a little bit about that?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So, I'm really blessed to have just completed last night this program called Landmark, the Curriculum for Living. So it's been a little over a year and a half. I did the forum, the advanced course, and now the self-expression leadership program, which I'm
in right now.
Yeah, the self-expression leadership. Wow. Everything has been in divine alignment too. Like as I was in the Ecoist, having the tools and the distinctions from that program present with me made me more powerful. And through the self-expression leadership program, I was able to birth this idea of creating a film to connect people to the land here, like targeting our bioregion, the Everglades, the Pine Rocklands. So the Pine Rocklands are a unique ecosystem that we have here in South Florida. And there's been a lot of activity around that land lately. There's been a sale of the majority of the Pine Rocklands to developers. There's been a lot of people protesting to preserve that land. And we have a budget, in our local government to preserve or conserve land that we already are preserving. So it's kind of gets into the politics of it. So I want to inspire people to take action. So this film is called The Pine Rocklands, A Call to Action. And I've been able to work with an awesome team. It's in production right now. And once we have the film post-production, we will be sharing it as far and wide as we can. And the goal of this film is to educate people about the land in which we share. We live on this land. This land provides for us. And that's another big teaching with herbalism, plant medicine, that grow your own food, you hear, grow local. Why is that? Have local medicine. Why is that? That's because these plants are creating the balance we need within our environment. So we breathe in this air. We walk on this soil, so we don't want food from another part of the world. We don't want medicine from another part of the world because that's balance for them.
Right.
In their conditions, in their environment. We need balance for our own environmental, components.
I'm going to ask you, how can people find out more about what you're up to? Where do they go? On Facebook, you're Kelsey.
Yeah, Facebook, Kelsy Consciousness.
Instagram.
I share a ton of stuff, and Instagram is Transcending Portals.
Yeah.
I have a site up, a Wix site for the Pine Rocklands film, so you can Google the Pine Rocklands, A Call to Action. And also the Ecoist is the retreat program I'm a part of. And you can find us on Instagram and Facebook.
Great. And then on the Z Nation website, we'll have any and all of your links to find Kelsey and to learn more about what you're up to. Thank you so much for being here today. I'd love to schedule you to be back on in a few months,
After my travels, yeah.
Yeah, when you come back from your travels, we'll catch up with you. Will you please take a lot of videos and share them with us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I will.
Awesome. Thank you, Kelsey.
Thank you, Zila.
All right, y'all. So we're going to divine... We're going to align with the divine. So this is actually a beautiful way to connect. and to connect to source, to connect to all that is. So wherever you are, I recommend if you are outside, go put your feet, bare feet in the ground, preferably in the grass, okay? And if you're not, we're just going to bring our feet to the ground, whether it's, pavement or the floor, and just feel your connection straight up. So we're going to work with the connection that goes from the heart. And we're going to go down to the root chakra where your pelvic floor is. Now, if you're somewhere where you can close your eyes, please close them. Bring all your attention to your heart. Breathe in, breathe out. The physical heart, feel it now. Now we're going to start to build up this vibration of love around the heart. And we're going to build up a vibration of love towards Gaia, our mother, our planet, our home. Think, visualize the most beautiful sunrise, the most beautiful sunset, the ocean, the rocks, the beauty of this planet, all of it, the flowers, the bees, the colorful birds. Those are all of her gifts to us. Feel love for Gaia. Now we're going to take all that love and we're going to shoot it down a tunnel that goes from your base chakra down to the earth. Keep it going down right to the center of her heart. All of us sending Gaia all of our love. Good. Now pause and receive. Receive all of her love back into your heart. Feel it pour in like a river streaming into your heart. Your mother's love is always there. Feel your heart fill up with the biggest, brightest love there is. Good. Now hold that love here, sit up, and we're going to move that love up. Yes, up through the crown of your head. And we're going to extend and we're going to shoot that love up to Father Sky. Sharing, extending all of our love to our Father. That which sustains us. Feel, send your love up through the crown of your head. You're sitting tall, you're feeling. Good, now receive. Receive your Father's love coming through the crown of your head and feel it shower your heart with the most beautiful love. Feel safe and supported. Your mother below you, your father above you, holding you, and you forming the Holy Trinity. Bring both the Father's love and the Mother's love into your heart. Feel it. Feel them collide. Now we're going to take that ball of love, this big bright white light, and we're going to allow it to fill the inside of our body. We're going to allow it to shine through to the outer part of our body so it outlines you. And as it outlines you, it begins to expand out. And we're going to hold the sacred space by making one sound. And we're going to make the sound of Om. Inhale. We are now in divine alignment with all that is. I love you guys. I thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being who you are, for being light workers. I love you. Namaste. And peace out. Blessings.
You're listening to SoFloRadio.com.